this is Heidi with Healing Harvest Homestead, and this
Mr.
is
V.
Mr. V. So we wanted to just talk with you about what we're doing out in the garden today. I get lots and lots of questions about the gardening, and I haven't really shared very much the last couple of years about gardening because we moved here to Idaho and we've had some difficulties. We had gardening in southern Nevada in the hot desert and also the high mountain desert nailed down. And basically, we figured when we moved here that things would actually be easier because that's what we were told, not realizing that, soil and environment's different everywhere. But anyway, the last 2 years have not been the most productive for us garden-wise. The first year we gardened in a flat area and we're just overcome with weeds. And the second year, which was last year, we gardened here in the hoop house. We're standing here in the hoop house. And we just had trouble with water mostly. And we just didn't utilize the space real well. So this year, for the first time ever, we're going to go to raised beds, finally. Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while, and I've been begging you for a while.
Well, it doesn't happen overnight, like anything.
You know, it's a project. Building raised beds requires some money, depending on where you get your materials and what you choose, and time. And honestly, we just haven't had it. So I'm feeling super thrilled going into this spring because we're going to have beds. And right now we've got 3 done out of how many?
We got 4 done.
4 done out of how many?
Out of 16.
Out of 16.
We're utilizing one for a cold frame.
Yeah, right now we're getting ready to plant cold items, even though it's like 35 degrees right now. Yeah. But we're excited. But anyway, real fast, let's just talk about some positives of raised beds. And one of my really good friends is a gardener, Carl, down in Cold Creek, and he's been telling us to go with raised beds for a while. And here's some of the things that he's told us. He said you have better control over your soil, which we've already filled 4 of them. And the soil is looking really, really good already because we're using mostly compost and the manure from our horse.
It's all organic.
It's all organic. So one of the things we're crossing our fingers about is the weeds, which brings me to the next positive, number 2 of using raised beds. And that is that hopefully we'll have fewer weeds. Now, we know we're going to have weeds. Weeds are just the name of the game when you're gardening, but if we can have fewer and spend less hours out here weeding, that would be wonderful. Also, because the raised beds are high, they're 2 feet high, it's going to be easier to weed. So, we're in our 50s, and mid 50s on the downslide to 60 actually. And, it gets to the point where bending over and reaching becomes a little more difficult. And the up and down is killer on your knees. And
it'll help with the harvesting too.
It will, and harvesting, definitely. And then, physical limitations. Right now we don't have any physical limitations, but we were talking about, well, what happens when we're in 20 years, when we're in our 70s or 80s, and we want to continue gardening the rest of our lives, and having raised beds is going to help us do that. So as an investment in our future and our gardening and our food storage and so many things. So talk to us about how you did this. He's a master when it comes to building things. It's amazing.
It's not that complicated.
Well, he built a barn for us, and he's built the best chicken coop I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, go ahead and talk about the beds.
Learn along the way. Well,
here,
I'm gonna see the beds.
Babe. So here in the hoop house, here are the beds so far. We've got this one.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep on going on down the line, and there'll be 8 on this side, 8 on that side. We're going to trellis from that one to this one, so we'll have a nice little trellis for our beans and stuff.
Oh, and last year we did that, and it was incredibly successful.
Worked out pretty good.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that this year too.
So, as far as building them, it's a basic frame, structured, 2 feet tall. The studs are 3 feet across, and then it's 12 feet across, or lengthwise by 4 feet across.
One of the questions that one of my readers asked about was the wood. She mentioned that you shouldn't use pressure treated wood. What do you say about that?
Well, my goal in doing this was to not even have the wood touch the soil. For the most part, it doesn't. There's the galvanized metal in between the wood and the soil, and there is one 2x4 that runs across the bottom there, but it's wrapped with weed stop. It's got 2 layers of weed stop going over the top of it. Other than that, the soil and the wood don't come in contact. That does 2 things. It doesn't contaminate the soil, and it also the wood's going to last so much longer. It's going to look a lot more longer, or last a lot more longer, not get hit with water and just being dry like that. Another thing I like about building these is the way they're built. Later on, if we wanted to go over the face of this with a nicer looking metal or some cedar siding or what have you, down the road, just to freshen up the look of them, you can just screw to these 2x4s. Whatever you put on the outside is not going to get wet. So that's just some of the things we thought about when we were building it. And then over here we have this one here. We didn't fill all the way up because we're going to utilize it as a cold frame.
Yep, this is our very first cold frame actually too. We didn't use them in southern Nevada, so.
The temperature difference, I just played around with the temperature thing, and it's 43 degrees inside of this, and it was 31 degrees on the ground, yeah, 32 degrees
pretty good difference
in the shade. So there is a little bit of difference. We're doing a little bit of experiment here. I have 2 layers of plastic on this one, and then on this one we put 1 layer of plastic.
You can hold your teeth here.
Yeah, alrighty. So we got 1 layer of plastic on here. The difference being that this here is going to have an air pocket in between, but it's letting less sun come through. This one here will let more sun come through, but it's not going to have that air pocket to act as insulation. So it's a little experiment just so that we can figure out what works.
That's how
it's
we
like
operate around here.
everything with our gardening is an experiment.
That's how we operate our life. So let's try this and see how it goes. Yeah, so we're excited. The whole hoop house should be filled up. The outer edges outside of the hoop house, we're gonna start our herb farm finally. We have a little potager going in front of the house, but we're hoping to get lots more seeds on the outside of this. Okay, so that's how we're building our raised beds for this upcoming gardening season, and our status on it so far. And if you want to follow us as we get this hoop house going and see the progress over the summer, and be included in harvesting and preserving videos as well as more herbal stuff, be sure to subscribe. Yes, we'd love to have you here. Also, we're opening a tea shop. With tea blending. I've been blending teas for almost 10 years and medicinally and for pleasure. And we're going to start it up with sales and going to the farmer's market, but look for the store opening. But Mr. T's heading that, Mr. V's,
okay.
Mr. V's heading that shop up, and we're excited about it. But this tea here is actually going to be on YouTube.
Yeah, gingerbread liver loving tea, detox tea.
Yes, it's very supportive of the liver.
Favorite.
Well, it's really good. Yeah, it's very tasty. All right, you guys, we'll talk with you soon. And as soon as the shop gets open, we'll let you know. And thank you for being here.
Did you say there's going to be a YouTube video for this?
Yes, they're. I don't. Well, it depends on when we put these out there, but either
days of each other.
Yeah, either there's a YouTube video now on this tea, or there will be within a couple of days. So take a look for it. Gingerbread liver loving tea. All right.
Very good.
Thanks, you guys. See you later.